Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Markham, and today we're talking about back to school because in the United States, kids are already back at school or they're starting back soon. So, two big tips that will make back to school much easier. It's always going to be an adjustment. You can expect that. But there are two big tips that will really help make things smoother. First of all, routines. Routines are your friend. Bedtime routine that gets kids to bed early enough that they wake up on their own the next morning. When the human body has had enough sleep, the person wakes up. If you're waking your kids up, or if there's an alarm going off, I hate to tell you, this is true for your body as well. We are not getting enough sleep when something outside of us wakes us up. So if you're waking your kids up, start getting them to bed earlier so that they get enough sleep, because every hour of sleep that they don't get that they need sets them back intellectually in their learning capacity and also emotionally in their ability to handle whatever life throws at them as the school year is starting. So, bedtime routine that gets them to bed early enough to wake up on their own the next morning, and then a morning routine that grounds them in the emotional stability of your family in a calm way without lots of yelling and racing around. So you want to be organized the night before, and you want your morning routine to include breakfast. If you've got one of those kids who won't eat when they first get up, maybe they need to get up a little earlier. Maybe they can eat a sandwich in the car, whatever works for you. But make sure there's something in your child's stomach as they head off to school so they can focus on learning. And make sure that the morning routine is calm enough to send them to school in a happy way. And often families hear this and they say, there's no way. There's no way to do that. My child has a meltdown every morning. And if that's true, then you've got a few things you can do to address it. One is get them laughing in the afternoon, because the more kids laugh, the more it reduces the stress hormones. And stress hormones keep them from sleeping well, from falling asleep at night, and also in the morning make them more tense and anxious. So if you can laugh with your kid in the afternoon, before dinner, right after dinner, but before you get too close to the bedtime routine so they don't get all worked up, if you can make sure to build laughter into your afternoon or early evening routine, your child will have more inner resources to cope with getting out of the house in the morning, and will also fall asleep more easily and sleep better and get a better night's rest. So your afternoon routine is also really important, making sure you have a chance to laugh with your child. And if at all possible, to get them outside, because nature, simply fresh air and growing greenery around them, actually also helps kids' nervous systems to settle down and helps kids to develop um, better, their stress hormones diminish. And when they're playing outside, whoever they're playing with, they're connecting with, they're laughing, and that releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which again, not only makes them happier and more connected to you and more cooperative, it makes them feel more secure. So again, they separate from you more easily the next morning. So you can see how all these routines really work together to make things smoother. I haven't talked about the homework routine, but if you have a child who's old enough to do homework, you'll want to make sure that you set up a routine where homework is fun. You're not the teacher. All you do is make sure your child does the homework. And if your child's having a really hard time with homework, you talk to the teacher about the fact that your child is resisting the homework or doesn't seem to understand it. But you're not the one who reads the essay or the short story your child just wrote and gives them critical feedback. You might test them with their spelling words if they want help with that, if they're having a hard time learning their words, but you're not the teacher and you're not teaching them and you're not setting the standards. When you do that, you set up power struggles, and most kids really resist. So you want them to have autonomy with their homework, but total support from you with a place to do the homework, a time to do the homework, snacks while they do the homework, you nearby if they have questions about the homework. Now, we could talk about homework a lot more, and that's another video. But for now, just make sure that your routine includes a way for your child to enjoy homework instead of seeing it as a totally unpleasant task. And by the way, it's okay for kids to learn to sit themselves down and do an unpleasant task. I'm not a big fan of homework. I don't think kids learn very much from it. That's what the research shows, depending on the age of the child and the kind of homework. But I am a fan of children learning to sit themselves down and do something that's hard for them with your support so they learn later in life. Yes, I can do this. I have the self-discipline muscles to sit myself down to do something that I really don't want to do, because every one of us needs to learn that skill as children so that we can do that as adults. So that's the first big tip, routines. Second big tip, emotion coaching. Support your child with the emotions that are bound to come up at the beginning of the school year. Now, your child is starting a new class with a new teacher and new kids. They may be some of the same kids, but there will always, at the beginning of school, be a lot of emotional turmoil because they're not with you. They may not feel that safe with that new teacher yet. They haven't bonded to them yet. And their best friend may not be in the class, or the person they hung out with last year in their class may not be there. And so they're wondering, well, how do I feel safe in this class? Who do I connect with? Who do I sit with at lunch? Who do I play with at recess? So our job is to help our children feel safe and secure and resourceful inside, so they know that whatever happens, they can handle it. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's natural to feel a little nervous starting school with a teacher you don't know, kids you don't know, but whatever happens, you will handle it. And in the past, you've made friends, and this time you'll make friends. So we're not just talking them out of their feelings. In fact, we're not doing that at all. What we're doing is listening to their feelings, acknowledging, yeah, that could be a little worrisome. I understand. It's normal to feel nervous, but we're saying it's okay. We're making discomfort okay, because when we humans are willing to be with our discomfort, we move through it and we come out the other side and we gain confidence. That's how our children gain confidence. It's also how we grow. It's how we develop the inner resources to handle whatever life throws at us. So we're not trying to talk our child out of their feelings. We're trying to say, yes, I hear you. That's uncomfortable. That's scary. That could make you nervous. Anyone would feel nervous in your shoes. Yes, and it's an okay thing to feel. You can handle it. You can handle that feeling. You can handle whatever happens. And they say, but I can't. What if no one lets me sit with them at lunch? And you say, that would feel really awful, wouldn't it? I don't think that'll happen, but let's talk about what you could do. If you go into the lunch room and you're looking for someone to sit with, what could you do? And your kid's like, I don't know, drop through a hole in the floor. And you say, well, could you look for a friendly face or another kid sitting alone and go over and ask if anyone's sitting in the chair next to them? And your child says, yeah, but that would be really scary. And you say, yeah, it would be really scary. It would take a lot of courage, but I've seen you be so courageous, like this summer when you jumped off the dock and you were swimming. So you're affirming that your child has the courage to do this hard thing, and it's hard, and they can do it. And then you say, and your child is still like, I couldn't do that. And you say, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? Do you think, and your child's well, like they might say, I can't sit there. And you say, yeah, they could say that. And that would feel terrible if that happened, but it's not likely, right? Most kids all want to make friends just like you do at the beginning of school. They're not going to say, you can't sit in this empty seat next to me if they're sitting there by themselves. They'll be happy to have a friend. But let's say they do. Let's say they say, oh no, I'm saving that for my friend. You say, oh, too bad. Too bad. That's all you say. Oh, too bad. Okay, next time. And you walk and you look for another opportunity, and you'll have to get up your courage, but you can do that. And you practice with your kid. And as you practice, you make it into a game. You get your child laughing about it, because laughter, remember, reduces the stress hormones, and it helps your child feel more confident about handling this when it's the actuality. But how do you get them laughing? You act silly about the whole interaction with the game. And as you do this laughing with your child, the anxiety about the specific interaction begins to dissipate because they're laughing about it. The final important kind of emotion coaching you'll want to do is about separation. because most kids have a little separation anxiety at the beginning of school because they don't know that teacher. They're not sure if they're safe in her class yet. They will get to know her. It will be fine. But you could get your child laughing about separation stuff, no matter how old your child is. You could like pretend you have Velcro hands. Oh, I can't let go of you. I can't stop hugging you. I can't let you off my lap. If they've been on your lap reading a story, a younger child, or even a middle schooler, you can, have Velcro hands and you can't get your hands off them. And you're acting out the need to stay connected in a way that gets your kid totally laughing about what a dork you are and also how needy you are, because they don't need you. You need them in this game. And it gets them laughing about it and about the whole feeling that we humans have of depending on someone who during the school day might not be there for us, your parent, right? But as they laugh about it again, the anxiety dissipates. And when it's time the next day to say goodbye to you, your child has so much more confidence going into school. So emotion coaching means we allow all the feelings and we listen and we acknowledge. And after we've listened, after we've allowed the feelings, then we might do some things to help the child with the feelings, like laugh about them. Might not even be a direct connection, but later we laugh about them. And we brainstorm about ways the child can handle things. And the final thing in emotion coaching is we need to be aware that when people get angry, under the anger, there's fear or there's sadness. So when your child comes home angry, usually they got scared. They were scared about, they didn't know what the teacher was talking about, or they were scared that their best friend seems to have a new best friend, whatever. So don't take the anger personally. Listen to your child's anger, whatever they're angry about. You made the wrong sandwich. The teacher is a stupid person, whatever they want to say. You acknowledge that you're pretty mad about this. You thought the teacher was unfair. You didn't like the way I cut the sandwich. Don't be defensive. Don't take it personally. Just listen. Let them blow off the steam. And then say, I'm sorry you're having such a hard day. It's a hard day, isn't it? Nothing seems to be going right for you. And after you say that, you'll hear about the best friend. You'll hear about how they didn't understand what the teacher was talking about. So you don't want to get stuck on the anger, or you'll never hear what's really wrong. When you listen and you accept and you simply allow your child to work through the feelings, then they get to the point where they tell you what's really going on and you can help them solve it. That's emotion coaching. So there's much more we could say about emotion coaching. And here on the AHA Parenting website, you can find many articles on emotion coaching and also articles on homework, articles on routines, articles on laughing with your child and playing games with your child. So enjoy the website and enjoy this back to school transition. It's a whole new year of excitement and new learning. Thanks for coming to the AHA Parenting website. This is Dr. Laura Markham.